Public Safety.
Could I speak to Captain McLean, please?
All right.
This is Captain McLean.
Captain McLean, this is Mrs. Hatcher. I'm sorry to call back so often, but Mark's such a little boy.
That's all right, ma'am. I understand perfectly, and I want you to know we're doing everything we possibly can at this time. We're working real close with the Sheriff's Office. The National Guard is being very helpful, and we've got every available unit out there that we have. We've also got a helicopter working that whole area.
I know, I can hear it.
I just hope that we'll have some news for you very soon.
And you'll call me.
I sure will.
Thank you, Captain.
You bet. Goodbye.
Austin, 6239.
6239, Austin, go ahead.
6239, contact a Mr. Bowen at his residence on Ranch Road 2045. This subject reports he may have seen the missing Hatcher boy near his property last evening.
6239, 100. 100, come over to the west side of 2045. You'll see my unit over here. We've got information that the little boy was seen last night just before dark. 10-4.
There he is, down there. Down there.
2201, 2202, 6615, million. 10-4, 548. Take a seatbelt.
This little story ended happily because of fast, efficient teamwork from a group of dedicated men and women. They're a special breed of people, highly trained professionals in their chosen field. They're male and female. They're black and white and brown. They grew up on farms and in cities. They had different kinds of experiences and family backgrounds.
He didn't fall down or anything. Such a little boy.
But they all have one great thing in common. They were all good enough to qualify for one of the foremost teams in law enforcement, the Texas Department of Public Safety. Most of the people you've just seen work for one of the uniformed services within the Traffic Law Enforcement Division of the Texas Department of Public Safety. Within that division, a diverse selection of career opportunities is now available. Here's what those jobs are all about. Texas has approximately 8 million licensed drivers, with about 100,000 new drivers being added each year. The Driver License Service of DPS administers the testing of these new drivers, ensuring their ability to operate a motor vehicle safely on Texas roads and highways. Records are kept on all Texas drivers, and periodic license renewals are required. The whole process, like all duties of the major DPS divisions, entails an enormous job of record keeping and reporting. The DPS Safety Education Service lends support to the other services through the education of the public in matters concerning the law. In this classroom, a Safety Education Service officer is teaching defensive driving. The objective of motor vehicle inspections in Texas is increased safety for all who use the streets and highways. All motor vehicles registered in the state are inspected annually by garage men. The job of setting and enforcing standards for those yearly inspections rests with the DPS Motor Vehicle Inspection Service. Texas' vast highway system, its spread of land, and its large population combine to make the trucking industry an important factor in the state's economy. The way that industry is regulated has a good deal to do with the condition of the highways most of us use every day. The License and Weight Service of the DPS is the enforcement arm of state laws concerning trucking and highway commerce. The Highway Patrol is probably the most visible and best known of the DPS uniformed services. While these troopers spend the majority of their time with traffic-related offenses, each of them is a fully empowered law enforcement officer. Any law violation anywhere in Texas is within the jurisdiction of each DPS officer. The trooper you've seen write a traffic ticket is also the trooper who could stop a bank robbery at a local bank, arrest a murderer, deal with a civil disturbance, or help break up a major narcotics ring.
How are you? Highway Patrol, if you'll step out of your car to the back lane.
The people who wear the uniforms of the Department of Public Safety are part of a proud tradition that goes back officially to the department's formation in 1935. And beyond that, to the legendary exploits of the Texas Rangers through most of the 19th century. But as Texas society has changed and grown through the years, the DPS has made its own adjustments to the modern world, always striving to fulfill its motto of courtesy, service, and protection for Texans and those who drive Texas highways. One of the foremost concerns of today's Texas is the fight against crime. This problem has grown so serious that in many areas of our state, a major crime occurs an average of more than once every minute. One of the first lines of defense against criminal activity in Texas is the team of plainclothes officers and technicians within the Criminal Law Enforcement Division and other support units of the DPS.
The Texas Department of Public Safety's organized crime unit are involved with the local and state agencies, other state officers, and federal officers, as well as with our state's Attorney General's office in identifying and investigating those persons that are involved and participating in organized crime in this state.
DPS officers not only fight crime directly, they also support the efforts of other police agencies at local, county, and federal levels. The existence of a computerized Texas Crime Information Center in Austin makes criminal records, facts, and fingerprints available to all Texas law enforcement officers within seconds. Another important factor in criminal investigations is the existence of the DPS crime laboratories, operated at DPS headquarters in Austin and in 6 field labs around the state. Here, chemists, fingerprint technicians, and firearms and polygraph examiners complete studies of evidence from criminal investigations in progress all over Texas. Each DPS trooper started his or her career the same way these young people are, by enrolling at the Department of Public Safety Law Enforcement Academy in Austin. On registration day, these new cadets have very little in common. They do all have at least 60 hours of college behind them, and they meet the general qualifications of DPS prospects. But over the next 18 weeks, some important changes will come over these young men and women. Those 18 weeks will be one of the toughest and most demanding periods of their lives. Not all of them will finish the training program. Those who do will be among the most thoroughly trained law enforcement officers in the United States. If you were a member of their class at the Academy, here are a few of the things you would see and hear during those 18 weeks.
What we're going to talk about here today is human relations. Now, when I say human relations, that's just exactly what I mean, but it's as related to police work. Without recognizing the value of human relations, a policeman cannot do his job properly. But I like to start off a program with a story. I got a friend that came into Johnny Guitro's bar one day, a Cajun story this is, of course, being a half-bleed Cajun. He came into Johnny Guitro, and I was talking with another Cajun. He walked up to this other Cajun, and he spoke with me, and I've been knowing him all his life, you know. He said to this other Cajun, he said, look, my old mule's sick, whoo, and bad. Got the colic or worm or something, and I don't know what they did about that. Other one say, you know, my mule got sick like that. He said, that's how come I asked you. You know, a good plow mule is hard to get. He said, what you did when your mule got sick? He said, I gave him a quart of turpentine. He said, quart? He said, that's right, not a fifth, no, a quart. He said, thank you, and he turned around and he laughed. And he went by the hardware store, got a quart of turpentine, went home, gave it to his mule, killed him dead. About 3 days, he came back in, he met this same kid. He said, look, did you tell me you gave your mule a quart of turpentine? He said, that's right. He said, I went home and gave my mule a quart of turpentine. It killed him dead. The other kid said, kill mine too, I guarantee. Now, you young people have decided to be police officers. Now, if you think that this is going to be easy, any of it, to be a policeman, well, you're a police person or police officer, you're absolutely wrong. There's nothing easy about being a police officer. You're going to live in a goldfish bowl just like a great big fat goldfish, clear water. Everybody got eyeballs on you all the way plumb. Every time you wag your tail, everybody's going to see you. And this doesn't mean just when you're working in your 8-hour day. This means 24 hours a day. And that's why we're going to talk about human relations, to try to help you be a good goldfish, if possible.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to run a test skid for you today to let you see what happens when some of your brakes lock. The skid we'll run for you will be the 2 rear wheels locking, and the car should spin 180 degrees to the right.
Not only do we have the Supreme Court to look at, but there is a section in our Code of Criminal Procedure that says that no evidence taken in any matter that doesn't comport with the U.S. Constitution or the Texas Constitution can be used in a criminal trial. So our law says that you can't use it because it doesn't satisfy the federal Constitution. Had any questions? It's all clear as mud? Okay, good.
Go, come on. Hold your belly. Up. Hold your back. Up. On your belly. Up. On your back.
As you may know, my name is James H. Jordan, Jr. I'm a recruit here at the DPS Academy. My speech this afternoon is an economic outlook on crime. And the idea I'd like to get across is that most all crimes have an economic related cause.
Come on, Sliz. Ready to go.
Our society is not simple. Simple in the sense that there's not just one group that is supposed to dominate. Everybody is supposed to be equal. America is supposed to be a melting pot. So you see, we get caught up in our ideals. If we didn't have the ideals we did, then we wouldn't have the social problems we do. And this creates a great deal of problems for law enforcement in American society. Very difficult indeed.
No, you're right. You're even in there. Bastards now. Bring it on down. Right along there.
Now, I can't
Hold it up. Keep it up.
I can't let that line up.
Don't tilt it. Keep it up. I call that. Just like you're shooting way low. You caught it? They do that. If you can't hear them, you don't understand, just stay where you are. On everything clear and precise and understood, okay? But no mistakes on your part of theirs. Nothing that you would do normally that would get yourself shot or in a bad situation. Play it smart. Try and figure out something, okay? Okay, go ahead and get your car. Okay. You the lead man. Okay? There's two of you working the county, you're on one side, he's on the other. That's normally the way it works. Okay? You get the call, armed robbery, drive-in window, bank.
Come out with your hands high. Come on out. Palms up. Okay, passengers, in the front. Open the door with your right hand on the outside. Hold it. Okay, down on the ground. Palms out.
Going forward. Watch your head, fellas. Try that hat. There you go. How's that feel?
Feels good. Looks like a regular cowboy.
What do you think?
It's fine.
Feel all right?
Yes, sir.
You the man's got to wear it now, so y'all be satisfied with it.
Here you go. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of our department, friends, members of the news media, and one and all, let me express on behalf of the Department of Public Safety our appreciation and the appreciation of the class for your presence, for all of you who are here today to witness this ceremony and to participate with this lady and these gentlemen in these graduation exercises. We wish for all of you to know that
This is it. This is what they've all been working for. You put on the uniform and the badge, and you stand up there before everyone. All of a sudden, you realize that you're something different than you were 18 weeks ago. There's a sense of accomplishment, pride, and dedication. You mean more to yourself, and you mean more to other people.
Reuben Salinas. Jody Scott.
Lieutenant, why would a person want to be a DPS trooper?
Well, for many reasons. Dealing in human situations, dealing with people, the
job itself is very interesting. The promotional opportunities are good. The benefits are good. The pay is good. A trooper, if he wishes to stay in the uniformed services, may promote from Trooper 1 to Trooper 2, Sergeant, Lieutenant, Captain, and Major. Or maybe he would prefer going into the administrative areas or the criminal law enforcement divisions. Let me say again, a trooper must qualify, and then he will have the opportunity to find out which type of long-term careers he's best suited for.
It's getting that time. I gotta go. Gotta go to work.
In addition to their law enforcement family, most troopers have families of their own. One such trooper is Lloyd Corin, a veteran of 8 years' service. This is the beginning of a typical day at his house.
I'll see you this afternoon, okay? You take care of Mama for me. All right?
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
This particular day in Lloyd Corin's life was a routine one. He slowed down a few speeders, and he had several opportunities to do the things he likes best about his job: meet people and give them help when they need it.
Of course, we see a lot of people out on the road, and they have difficulty on the roadways, being lost, or vehicle problems, or breakdowns, and this kind of gives you a little satisfaction to help somebody, you know, if they got car trouble, or give them directions, and they appreciate it. It makes you feel like you're really accomplishing something, you know, that they look up to you as to say, well, here was an officer here that took the time to put me on the right route or help me with my vehicle or something like that.
This man's company was notified about his difficulties. His truck was removed from the roadway within an hour.
It's a different type of work than what most people are accustomed to. There's no 2 days, in my opinion, that are alike. You deal with the public each day, you meet different people, and I enjoy my job very much. There's a lot of pride. Any officer, I believe, with the Department of Public Safety is, I don't think he would trade his job for another job.
The rest of the day was uneventful.
1028 and 1029 on Adam Henry Nora 327. Adam Henry Nora 327.
A few more traffic stops. A break for coffee with a fellow officer. And some long hours on the highway watching for speeders and listening to the transmissions of the DPS communication system. It was the kind of a day a police officer is grateful for. There were no fatalities, no major crimes. Protecting and serving the people of Texas is what the Department of Public Safety is all about. For those interested in careers with DPS, for those who can qualify, job openings are now available in all the uniformed services and among many of the non-uniformed. Here to extend a personal invitation to join a great team in law enforcement is Texas Department of Public Safety Director, Colonel Wilson E. Spear.
Anything special?
Your DPS trooper and his backup teammates are indeed a special breed of people who care about your safety and care about each other. For young men and women seeking a life's work, I really believe there are few careers more vital than those with our great public safety team. Because of this, we need very special people. Yes, we need you, young men and women of any race, who can meet the high qualifications for a DPS career. So, if you're interested in a secure, unique career that involves vital service to others, please come to see us.
Now, if you think that this is going to be easy, any of it, to be a policeman, well, you're a police person or police officer, you're absolutely wrong. There's nothing easy about being a police officer. You're going to live in a goldfish bowl just like a great big fat goldfish, clear water. Everybody got eyeballs on you all the way plumb. Every time you wag your tail, everybody's going to see you. And this doesn't mean just when you're working in your 8-hour day. This means 24 hours a day.